Mike Perlack here to entertain you with the help of Scott E. Berendt. I'll never get what I want until I have what I need, and that is you. Oh, well, you know I'm jaded. I can feel me fading. Yeah, that's it. The front man for that Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel band that I saw this past weekend. After a couple of days of that particular song is called Jaded. The CD that he gave me and my sisters is his own original stuff. Scott E. Berendt and the Us Project. The album called To the Sun, the Moon, and Back Again. Anywho, I wanted to talk a little bit. After 3 days of listening to the CD, I wanted to talk a little more about it. I'd say towards the end of the album, a lot of the stuff can almost be comparative to Dave Matthews Band. That song I was singing is called Jaded, not to be confused with the Aerosmith song. As I stated on the jog video where I was talking about this, Scott E. Berendt, guy got a lot on his plate. Singer, songwriter, drummer, producer. I think I failed to mention, he even said during the concert that I've been a drummer my whole life. But I have to say, Phil is a clever name for a Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel cover band. But before I knew anything of it, I just saw a cover band for Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel. For some reason, I got it in my head that there were going to be two singers. One singing Phil Collins stuff and the other singing Peter Gabriel. As a matter of fact, the drummer, or rather the guitarist on this band, a guy with long brown hair and a long gray goatee, I was almost positive when they went to sing the first Peter Gabriel song, that guy was going to step up to the mic and start singing the Peter Gabriel stuff. But no, it is this Scott E. Berendt who sings all of it. Scotty B he also calls himself. But there was people walking around with the T-shirt that said Phil on the front. Which like a square box with psychedelic colors, and on the back, I didn't get a super good look, but it appeared that the back featured morphed images of Peter Gabriel album covers and Phil Collins album covers. I could be wrong about that. I did not get a good look. If you look at all the shorts I shared of the video clips from the concert that night, you'll probably see what I'm talking about. But I was even willing to buy a T-shirt. You know, it's going right these days. $25-$30 for a T-shirt. But no. Apparently, only the roadies and people involved with setting up the instruments and stuff were directly involved with the project. Were the only people wearing the shirts. But when I talked to Scotty B there, the guy, after I was getting my sister, he let me take his picture with my sister take a picture with him. He said, maybe next time. Apparently they might come around again, maybe next year. Some of these bands, these cover bands, like apparently the Fleetwood Mac cover band has been there before, so maybe they'll be doing this again next year. And then at one point during the concert, Scotty B says, I guess that was his nickname, Scotty B. But he says, yeah, we played a little Phil, we played a little Peter. What about Mike? And then they played All I Need Is a Miracle. The only video so far, I know in time they'll all be, but The only video so far that has been already copyright claimed of all the short 1 minute, 2 minute, whatever videos I shared of each of the tracks he played. I didn't get them all. But I made it a point to record most of them. And I made it a point to record the part of the song in the air tonight with the. I made it a point to get that minute short. Make sure I got it at that part of the song. All right, I got one more thing to say about that, and then I'm going to move on to some other stuff I want to talk about on this video. But to my surprise, they actually sang more Peter Gabriel than I thought they would, including Red Rain. Now, I've seen interviews of Peter Gabriel talking about his song Red Rain. The plot of his reason for writing that song, I guess, or the story that song tells, Red Rain, is similar to the plot of that Twilight Zone episode, Black is Night, or Black is the Night, or something like that. It's very similar premise. The premise in that episode of the Twilight Zone is that the hatred and bigotry has overcome this small town to the degree that it got dark one day and then it never turned light. It never turned day ever again. And it was supposed to be direct contrast to the hatred and bigotry that had spawned out of this small town. Well, Peter Gabriel's Red Rain, he had a similar idea where around that same idea, whereas because of the hatred and the massive hatred growing throughout throughout everything, that it just started raining blood as a direct physical to this philosophical thing of hatred, which I always thought was an interesting premise. So, moving on. So, what's going on in the wonderful world of news? Well, if you turn into C-SPAN these days, or tune into C-SPAN on your phone, I'm sure the channel still exists. C-SPAN as the channel still exists at some capacity. But if you watch anything out of C-SPAN these days, honestly, it's like you're looking at the deleted scenes from Mike Judge's 2006 comedy movie, Idiocracy. And how about these liberal judges? These liberal judges are actually asking questions like, can a jury understand the case against Trump? Because they're just people. They're not geniuses like us liberal judges. We're geniuses. Yeah, they don't know. We are geniuses because we quote Taylor Swift. You gotta calm down. This makes liberal judges geniuses. These genius liberal judges, they can't be bothered with things like evidence. Their word alone should be enough. Now you deplorable, you shut up and you give us your vote. Oh, God, we are living interesting times. Yeah, just today, Bobby Crybaby De Niro. Boy, when the world is going so wrong, so terribly wrong, it really does expose who the men versus the boys, the real men versus we're seeing now whom is whom in terms of who is a real man and who is just a boy. But yeah, Bobby Crybaby De Niro, Bobby Crybaby De Niro. Oh, he's the perfect example of stage 4 of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. Trump derangement syndrome. But the bigger they are, the harder they fall. That old saying. Or in Crybaby De Niro's case, the bigger they were, the harder they fall. It just takes a bit longer for them to fall, I guess. That guy's been so out of touch. He's been a has-been for years. As we speak, just tonight, I guess they did 34 counts against Trump. He was found guilty, I guess. It's just going to help his case. They ain't going to deter me from voting for him. He's an intelligent businessman. I'm sure he could run the country a lot better than Joe from a prison cell. All right, I just want to end this video and talk about something. A while back, this is going back a while. A while back, I made a video talking about how I'm a right-handed person, quote unquote. I've used the right side of my body up to this point so much that now I find my arm, even my right bicep, cramping up on me. Even my right leg, because most of my life I put more weight on my right leg. So for this last 6 months to a year, whatever it is, I've been making a conscious effort to use the left side of my body more and more. And it's working out pretty good for me. Slowly but surely, I can even write faster and faster with my left hand. Yep. As a matter of fact, I can say with confidence that I can now forge my own signature. How many people do you know who can say that? How many people do you know who can forge their own signature? There'll be no stopping me. The world will be mine. With this ability, the world will be mine. All mine. Oh, shoot. There will be other obstacles with this whole world domination thing, but hey, something to be said for progress, right? But what purpose would one have for forging their own signature? Unless you have some sort of divine knowledge. Screw that. I just want to make money like everybody else. But, I'm noticing that my handwriting, when I write with my left hand, is very similar to my grade school best friend who was left-handed. He will be my first victim. But I'll show you an example here. So since I figured out, I can writing with my left hand versus my right, but I'm starting to speculate something about my left hand. Here it is. Here we go. Okay, so the bottom represents writing in with my right hand. And the top represents writing the same sentence with my left hand. But if you see this, I'm starting to speculate something about my right or my left hand. I can even write in cursive, it says. But the top one which I wrote with my left hand says I can even write in cursive. So I'm speculating. I think my left hand might be French. which is a possibility. It is a very possibility. My left hand is French. My ancestry, according to my grandfather on my mom's side, goes back to the Vikings. So, I could very well have every nationality you can think of in me. But, even my mom used to say, if you ever ask the question, what are you? Just keep it simple. Just say, I'm the best damn group of people there is. My Parallax, thank you for your time.